Welcome to Exit the Matrix, Stories of Success with your host, Jane Slack-Smith, where we celebrate the incredible journeys of individuals who've transcended their limitations and achieved extraordinary success.
So cool.
Oh my goodness. Week 15 of the Exit the Matrix with me book researching experiment. Still haven't written the book, but still on the research part. And I have to be honest with you, I was sitting here earlier this week, and what usually happens is I'm progressing through the kind of progress of the book where we've kind of been through people getting aware that something's different in the world or with themselves. They might be content, but they're not fulfilled. And we kind of explored that over the first couple of months. And then I was going to jump straight into this, awakening some of the things that you can use to, really get you into your heart and being aligned to your purpose and living in abundance. And what happened was I got stuck in the messy middle. There's this point where you kind of get into, there's people want to hold me back. Something's holding me back. Maybe there's a story going in my head that's stopping me. And I was sitting here thinking, who's someone I can speak to? And on Monday, Michael Bennett here, hello, Michael, jumped up in my feed. And I was like, geez, this man is a man that every time I see you, Michael, my heart just beats with joy. Like you're one of those people that just exude happiness. So when I reached out to you this morning, when I was listening to you play the flute in your morning ritual, I was just like, yes, I'm going to reach out, and there you are. So thank you so very much.
I'm so grateful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's great.
Okay, so just for those that are listening, I'm going to give you a little bit of how I met Michael's story. And during COVID, there was everything kind of shut down. And I am so grateful for the opportunity, because what actually shut down was the cruise ship industry, where Michael is running around the world most of the time doing magic and telling stories and bringing his uniqueness to the world. And because the cruise ship industry had shut down and was just getting back up again, Michael happened just to be in the Service Paradise, where I was running a workshop for my mentoring clients, and we're talking about what is it to live the magician's way from your heart, understanding the stories, being in intuition. And I had this kind of crazy idea that, and this is like a week before the workshop, it would be great to close with the magician. How good would that be? And so I searched magicians in Surfers Paradise. There wasn't that many of them. And then I saw Michael, and he popped up, and I saw his webpage, and I saw what he was talking about. I'm like, this is the guy. And it said, ring me. And so I thought, okay, I'll ring him. I went straight to his voicemail, and I was like, oh my God, okay, all right, well, I think I need a magician, and I'm doing this thing on how to live from your heart and how to, live like a magician. And I don't know if you read William Whitecloud's book, but I'm kind of using that as a basis, and and I know this is like short notice, but I need you on Wednesday. And I hung up, and 2 seconds later the phone rang. He's like, I'm in, tell me all about it. I know William's book. And that was Michael. And I was just like, it was like this meeting of minds, and you came along and you participated, but the way that you told stories with magic, and then shared your stories about being kind of bullied and being through tough times, and then helping men, and particularly people with mental health and challenges. You just set that room alight. And I see you now cruising around the world, and you're doing like these 5 a.m. flute things on the bow of a boat with these amazing sunrises. And you are a man who just seems to be living your best life. But it wasn't always the case for you, was it, Michael?
Not always the case. No. Yeah. But it's my medicine now. Was nature, and I, of course, as you've been watching me, I've chased sunrises and sunsets. That's my whole thing, is which charges me. So retrospective and introspective. So waking with the sun and rising with that. I'm actually climbing Mount Karura tomorrow morning, which is a 435-meter climb to the top that overlooks the sun rising on the Sunshine Coast of Australia, on the so the east coast of Australia, which is absolutely magical, you know. So I take my flutes and my didge up there, and you know, and just be grateful, you know, especially when I'm in nature doing that, of course, you know. So it just expands. The trees are talking to me. I'm having great communication with the trees and the rocks and the mountains and stuff. And people go, "You're weird," and I'm going, "Well, look out, man. You know, we're all going to be doing it in about 20 years' time, you know." So it's like tap in now, like learn the language of the trees and nature now. But I just do that with my vibration of the flutes, you know, 528, 432. So yeah, I suffered depression for a good 20 years of my life. So
when you say 538, 422, these are frequencies of noise that resonates.
Yeah. So this is a 528 hertz flute, which is a pure frequency of love. And this is an F, which is a heart chakra. So when people hear it, I mean, you don't know until you know, but, you know, they go, "Oh, yeah, it's just a flute." But when you actually hear it and it resonates, it just goes straight to the heart because of the vibration. It'll even come over the airwaves and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
Wow, it started with music and then it stopped. So we only got the first couple of notes there, Michael. We must have Zoom cutting out all that extra outside noise.
Yeah. Or maybe they don't want the vibration to be raised on the planet. Anyway, that's a conspiracy. Ooh, stop it.
Okay. Now, messy middle, Michael, messy middle. I'm going to come back to your book because you wrote a book about the monkeys that we carry, and I'm kind of researching for my book what's holding people back from living their best life. And you've explored that. So can you take me through, like, what do you see and what are the things? I mean, you've worked with so many people and I know you support a lot of people who are going through tough times. What do you see is, I guess, the things that are holding people back from really stepping into the abundant life, heart aligned, living their best joyous self?
Yeah, what I'm finding now is a lot of people are not loving themselves, you know. So, and without that, it's hard to get any kind of beautiful emotion or loving compassion or acceptance from other people or the right job or the right circumstances happening to you because your vibration's all wrong. And that's what I've totally worked out, especially after the last year, you know. But when I wrote my book, it was, you know, become a mind ninja. And a ninja is an acronym, which is a never failing, imaginative, non-conformist, jubilantly actioning. So I break all that down in my book, but that's the warrior, which is who we are, you know, who we were born as warriors, you know, ninjas. And the ninja could be anything, you know, so it could be an animal or it could be any kind of deity, but that's what showed up for me. And then I learned how to control and work out which of the monkeys that are causing the distraction in the mind that given most people the grief. And I sat with that for months and then worked out the seven monkeys, right? Fear, anger, grief, critic, jealous, and victim. All right. So they're the six ego-based monkeys.
Yeah.
And as Dr. Wayne Dyer says, you know, ego just means edged God out. Yeah. So they're the six ego-based monkeys that I find that are usually causing all the trouble. I'm going, what's this thought? That's anger, that's fear, that's jealous, that's critic, that's the victim. And so I analyzed all that. And then the one monkey that's not ego-based that can counteract all those others, if you catch it early in the morning, is gratitude. The gratitude monkey. So the gratitude monkey is the only monkey that's allowed to stand next to the warrior, the ninja. So you wake up with the ninja, your true essence, yourself. So you've got to come back to self, which is the God essence within you, you know. And I'm not talking about the white guy on a bed on a cloud or, you know, overlooking people. As soon as you say the word God, they're going to go, "Oh, I'm out." You know, I'm just going to go, no. You are God, you know, like this. It's God essence. It's who we are, you know, like we're all stardust and stuff.
I am the sovereign controller of my life.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Whatever follows I am will come looking for you. And that's why I put this on here, you know, and it's all about it. I am love, you know. So, and I had to remind myself because you know, when I was depressed and sad, I'm just going to go, I can't find love or it's not happening for me. Just going to go, I was looking for it instead of being it, you know. So you have to be the love that you're looking for.
So what I'm picking up
Yeah,
here is there's this awareness. You're catching yourself in the thoughts and you're saying, wait a second, this is critic, victim, grief, whatever that is, but there's something there. And this tension or this awareness allows you to go, I now get a choice of how I'm going to turn up. But
so true.
there's also then the self-determination that says, what did you say? Whatever comes after I am is what's looking for you.
Yeah, whatever comes after I am, will find you. So you got
So
to be
I am
careful with
not
your
enough.
thoughts. And
I am ugly. I am, unlovable.
totally,
Okay, so I'm just
yeah,
going to reverse all of that and go with I
yeah.
am beautiful. I am abundant. Or okay,
Well, that's
so
right. Well, that's what this is. I don't know if you can read that.
believe.
Un
Oh, it's
unbelieve
unbelief,
negative
negative
thoughts.
thoughts. How do you find the fact that you have put all over your body? Like I think you've got a lion as well, don't
Yeah,
you?
I got the lion here now.
And
I got the lotus now, which is kind of wild. It's the most beautiful plant to come out of the darkest, muddiest, most grimiest place
mm,
on earth. But when it comes out, it's awesome, and you got to look after yourself with yin yang, find the balance, and just know that you are perfect. So when people see it, it's just like that's the message that they get today. If they see me somebody working behind a coffee shop teller as I hand over the money, they just read "You are perfect," and that's just like that's their message for the day. It's like
you were like this
that's it.
walking billboard of like positive messages, not just for yourself, but for everyone you
Yeah.
interact. Like I see you sometimes on Facebook and you just have these random moments where you're meeting people and you're having these extraordinary kind of, life-changing events for them and you give them a message or something. And it just reinforces to me that, if you're start the day with that orientation, like you say, you're in joy and you without the ego and you're open, you're welcoming all of these type of positive reactions and inter connections with other people. Like that seems to be what happens to you all the time. Is that a something that you've developed, or is it you do it unconsciously, or how did you start with this kind of orientation of being positive and this attraction of people and events and opportunities that you've created in your life?
Look, like it comes like it's so uh, it's so simple, but not easy. If that's
Oh,
it's that old saying, it's simple but not easy. So it's conscious breath is what I worked out. The biggest and the most guiding factor to anything is conscious breath. So that's what I call it in my book, monkey juggling. All right. So when the monkeys are causing the trouble, fear, anger, grief, critic, jealous, and victim, I then come from a place of gratitude. All right. I go, okay, I can hear that. So the gratitude monkey will just show up. And so if there's one negative, I replace it with two positives, two things to be grateful for. And then I consciously breathe. So it's breathing in for 4 and then out for 4, nose to nose, because anything other than that, some people are shallow breathing and they're finding themselves a little bit anxious, a little bit fearful, a little, and that's where all jealousy and victim and critic comes from, that shallow breathing into the chest, because and they usually breathe into here and then they're breathing out. They're waiting at traffic and they're waiting on the line, they're waiting at the bank, they're waiting on the shopping malls or in crowds, and they get that kind of anxious feeling, which actually activates the sympathetic nervous system, releases releases cortisol, and it gets the whole body ready for the fight and flight response.
yeah.
So when I worked out that, it's like, okay, cool, the ancient art of breathing. And so it's just like in breath for 4, out breath for 4, nose to nose, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, releases serotonin and dopamine. So now you've got a calmer, the whole physiology of yourself, your mind, your body, and your spirit comes back into like equilibrium and keeps us on the balance,
Mm.
of everything, which is what we need to be. So there's always going to be good, bad, hot, cold, dark, light, which is, yin yang. And so we need to stay in the balance of all that. And so
And
it's
so this is,
breath.
do you
And
just breathe when these things come to mind, or is this a like morning practice, or like how do you put that into your day-to-day life?
Man, I bring that into my daily life now. Just whenever I consciously like aware of my breathing, I think I'm then breathing deeper. Like when I'm driving, whenever, like if you can consciously breathe and just going to go, okay, because we take it for granted. All the things that are free, we take our breath, we take our smell, our sight, our hearing, our heart, our gut, our instincts. We take it all for granted because it's been given to us for free. And we just, flippantly just don't use it properly because it's been given to us. Going, here you go. And then we haven't learnt how to harness all its power, which is what I've done with breathing and controlling the monkey mind. But yeah, it comes down to breath and self-love. Once you fill your heart with that self-love, and then things start changing, and then more people come around you. Like the network of people that I have around me, it's just absolutely amazing. Like I was saying this morning on the live, yourself as an earth angel, then Joy was on there as an earth angel, Donald, and all the people I knew were in the same vibration, at the same time. And I'm going, this is what we need. Like
I've never
everybody on the
been
same
called an earth
vibration.
angel. I love it.
Yeah, oh, you definitely are for what you're doing. What you've done and what you're doing, and you're changing people's perception, and that's it's all perspective. Like it's so cool. But the people that are stuck, they got that tunnel vision, and they're just stuck in their story. And I say, no, your stories doesn't have to be there. We just got to move to the side of fraction.
Yeah.
It's the same as the magician's way, about the golf swing and stuff. You just got to it's just a slight turn of the thumb, and then the ball's going to go in the right direction. And
Can
it's
I,
just,
can, you mentioned something and it's sitting in my head a lot, and I'm going to see if we can explore it a bit more.
okay.
But you said people are looking for something, but unless you become it yourself, you won't find it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You have to be the love that you're looking for,
Which
They're
is
looking
like,
for outside things, but then a lot of people, they don't know who they are without their victim card, That and they feel comfortable, even though they could have pain or dis-ease in their body somewhere, or some kind of emotion that's keeping them in this thing, and they've had it for so long, their story, and they say, "Oh no, I can't climb up that mountain because my knee's too. Here's my victim card why I can't go up here, or this, or some kind of reasoning." And then we got to, it's just like that's who they are until they work out how we can overcome that victim story, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So how do people, is there I mean, we talked about awareness and maybe choosing what you want and who you want to be to receive it, but that recognition that you are acting a victim, is there any tips that are more than recognize it and choose not to do it?
Yeah, well, I like that last word. It's just choice. So it's all choice. So I was in victim mode. I was right at it. So I just went, no, I'm allowed to be like this. I'm allowed to drink this. I'm allowed to do this because I've got depression. That's what it's been labeled. Oh, I've got depression, so I had my label. Until I went, no, look, well, maybe if I didn't have depression or didn't have that word, and I didn't have that validation card of depression, and I got rid of it and just say, no, I'm not depressed. And so I flipped the script, unbelieve the negative thoughts. And so that's, when I put this on there, and it's like, yeah, so it's eradicating the stuff. And sometimes it's really hard, because we may have something that it's just like you feel is totally out of control and that I can't change that. It's going, oh, it's good for you, Michael. You can change it. You've done that. But, I've had pains in the shoulders. I've had degenerative, the stuff and like nerve damage and stuff. When they say, when you go to the doctors and they go, well, at your age, I'm going, you've got to stop saying that, doctor. You can't say that at your age, because I'm just about to turn 63, but I'm going, I don't like you saying that because age is just a number. And they're going, oh, well, it's degenerative. It won't heal. But I proved them wrong. And I cured nerve damage and everything through the power of the mind and not accepting their diagnosis, But the thing is, what I find with people and myself, and I heard Jay Shetty say it once, but it's an old monk saying, I'm not who I think I am. I'm not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am.
that is profound. Like, let's just sit with that for a second, because
Yeah,
basically it says we're all living in an illusion because no
yeah,
one actually knows what's happening in
yeah,
here, but
yeah,
we're turning up how other people's labels or definitions or
yeah.
their small, impression of us is
Hmm.
what's important. And I guess is it the wanting of love, belonging, security, safety? Is that what drives us to want that external kind of appreciation
Validation.
from others? Yeah.
Oh, for sure. We're all after validation. I mean, that's why Facebook and Instagram and all those things, we're just, we keep on going back to it. How many likes have I got? How many hearts have I got? Who's seen this? Who's doing that? And I'm still good without that. I love it. But hopefully with my content that I'm sharing, that it's,
Yeah.
it's changing lives with that. But yeah, it's like we tend to wake up with, and we go to places or things, and we put on the mask of the perception of what we think they see us as, as opposed to like being raw, vulnerable, and open, which is really hard for people to do, is to be that vulnerable.
Mm.
So we wear the mask of their perception. Oh, they think I'm all right. They think I'm fit. They think I'm happy. So I'm just going to go, hey, how you doing? Just go, yeah, I'm great. Instead of just going, man, I'm feeling a little bit funky this morning and I feel a little bit down and out. And they go, oh, man, I don't want to hear that. I just want.
So how do you balance this, like, unbelieve negative thoughts and turning up, being vulnerable, going, not feeling great?
Yeah, or that just comes back to redream, like redream and live your purpose. So, my purpose is to come from a loving space and place. That's, with conscious awareness,
Yeah.
presently conscious with loving awareness. That's how I step every single day. And every single moment I step in that now with,
Can you just say that?
conscious,
Conscious
conscious presence. Okay. So I've got to be present wherever I am with
and
loving awareness.
conscious breathing gets you there, right?
Yeah, well, the breath is good, like it's amazing. Like it just keeps the engine going. It's just like it's pumping, like, and everything's pumping properly, right? So
Mm.
it just imagine if you're breathing in for 4 and out for 4, and then if you want to supercharge that, you breathe in for 4, you hold for 4, you out for 4, you hold for 4. That's box breathing,
Mm.
but generally 4 for 4 just keeps the engine running and keeps the mind knowing that, oh, everything's okay, everything's good. And as soon as I find myself a little bit of a shift or something sort of bugged me or upset me or I'm feeling a little bit untoward, I go, where was I? What was I thinking? And what
Mm.
was I doing with my breath? And where was my heart? You know? And then I go, oh, I saw that from my head. I saw the traffic from my head. I
Mm.
started breathing shallowly. And then I just got myself a little bit frustrated. And I went, oh, so as a ninja, so this is what takes the training, is
Mm.
catching yourself and just going to go, oh, that's what it is. Okay, so I'll quickly come back with gratitude that I do have a car. I'm able to put petrol in it. I can listen to my music that I love, no matter the traffic,
Mm.
and I'll come back to my breath. Which is why I put the Om on here as well. So it's
Mm.
like I can do my own sound healing. So you come back to breath and. Well, like these are all reminders for me, but I'm the illustrated man with my messages and my motivational magic, they all make sense. So
I love it. I just love this. I mean, God, you say it's simple, but it's not easy
yeah,
because, and it's hard to appreciate when it's free. It's like
yeah,
time, right?
yeah,
And starts, and there's a movie where, you have a certain amount of time and people are kind of charging up time and, a
yeah.
cup of
We were
tea.
talking about that the other day. Yeah,
Yeah, and it is so ahead of its time because it shows us that it's another
yeah,
thing that we consider free, and it's something that we're trading. We're trading, our breath, or we're taking this for granted when we've actually got for free the most amazing gifts that we could potentially have. And it strikes me that when you say it's simple, no, it's easy, but it's not simple, is that if you can be conscious in the present and being in a sense of self-love and being what you want to attract, abundance, wealth, happiness. And it also strikes me that, and I created this visual yesterday because I kind of got this kind of, I guess, twinge of what it is like if you're asking for love and wealth and success and whatever to come to you, but you've got these little draining holes of I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not powerful, I'm not lovable, then it's just going to keep going through you. And if you're not getting what you want, until you
Yeah.
plug those holes of actually having what you said. So if the number one thing is not being in self-love, then
Yeah,
you
true.
can attract the things that you want.
Yeah, that's where you got to be really, really careful of your thoughts, right? Because everybody, narcissism is a great thing, catch cry out there at the moment, right? He's a narcissist, she's a narcissist, boom, boom, and bullying and all this sort of stuff. But, we are our biggest narcissists to
Mm,
ourselves, and gaslighters, big gaslighters to ourselves, all right? Because we always second guess ourselves. I
yeah.
should have. Oh, did I? Could I? I was, and so we're constantly gaslighting ourselves, and because we're gaslighting ourselves, we see that in others, thinking that they're doing it to us because we are it. If that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
But
so
you
with
can't
what you were
see
saying,
something you're not familiar with. So if you're seeing the narcissism in others, it means that you're aware of what that is. So you must have some of it in you. Is that what
it's
you're
a
saying?
mirror. It's a mirror, and that's what Ho'oponopono, the power of Ho'oponopono, what Dr. Hugh Lin did. He cured those 29 of the 30 mentally ill patients. The rapists, the murderers, the decapitators, like the worst of the worst, without seeing them. But what he did when he got their picture and all their files, he took 100% ownership of every one of them
Right.
and cured 29 of them. So by taking 100% ownership, which is why I've got Ho'oponopono tattooed, because it was such a revelation to me and changed my life. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. I thank you.
Yeah.
You
It's
know?
such a powerful, like I didn't realize the story about the prisoners, but it's such a very simple, powerful mantra, isn't it?
Well, it's incredible. Yeah. So there's a thing that my beautiful friend Joy and I, like, we coined it the other day because we were just finding ourselves in just moments of like just amazing. I said, how do we tell people about this? What is this? This amazing feeling. And so we coined it, right? Which we're trying to get out there to the world, and we coined it bliss,
It.
right?
Yep.
It bliss. All right. So no matter what, this is it. Like where we are right now, can't be anything else but it. This is it. All right. And so if you're in traffic, or if you're in an argument, or if you're even seeing a rainbow or a sunrise or a sunset, or at the beach or stuck in mud, it's it. That's it. Now
Mm.
what you have to do is find the bliss in it, no matter what. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Find the bliss in it, because this is it. You can't change what it is, but you can change the way you see it. And so you got to find the bliss in it. So we've coined it bliss,
I
So
love that.
we're always searching for it bliss, because
It
this is
kind
it.
of
Where's the bliss?
it kind of parallels oh gosh, I just lost my train of thought, but it parallels the things don't happen to me, but they happen for
For
me.
me. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
it kind of is
Here's
like, instead of external circumstances I'm a
Yeah, yeah,
victim of, it's like,
yeah,
this is it.
yeah.
How am I going
This
to deal with it?
I got a beautiful change on that one as well that I heard. Like Joy told me yesterday, because we always say that, hey, this is not happening to you, it's happening for you.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
there's a new one that's just come through. This is not happening to you, it's happening through you.
Yeah.
How's that? Oh, that just blew my mind. I'm like,
You know,
oh,
you know
good.
what I think with that, when I think of it happening through me, I think of some of the latest, neuroscience research, which has shown that less than 50% of the memories and stories we have are actually real and accurate. We
Yeah,
have
yeah,
changed them to reflect who we were at that time, be them we were a child, or we were in trauma, or we were in a bad situation, but we've changed them, and we've clung to them, but they're not actually
yeah,
true. And I guess I
yeah,
was at one stage flown to the US and trained as a fatality investigation expert when I was in the explosives industry. And we had like
yeah,
FBI and detectives and everyone come and teach us how to do interviews for people who
yeah,
were witnesses. And one of the
yeah,
things that really shocked me was they said, take the person back like 24 hours beforehand and get
yeah,
them to Or get them into the story mode. And then at the point of when the thing happens, take them up 10,000 feet in the air so they can see the whole thing rather
Yeah,
than their little view of it. And
yeah,
boy, I luckily didn't have to do any fatality investigations, but I did some near miss fatality investigations.
yeah,
And just taking people, like you're talking to traumatized truck drivers who,
yeah, yeah,
have driven over the edge of a 200-foot cliff with an explosive truck on the back, and it could have all gone bang and they survived for
yeah.
grace of God. And you take them back, and it seemed that, there was something happened, they didn't know what. And then it's like, well, actually, when I came over the hill, the sun was in my eye, and I went to get my sunglasses, and, they're out of the situation of going, oh my God, trauma, trauma. And so that really, it helps me understand that kind of experience that I've had when we talk about things happen through you. If you're not aware of what's driving you, or the monkeys or the
Yeah.
poisons, whatever they are, they're actually defining, or the filters through which you see everything.
Totally, totally, totally. Yeah, that's exactly right. And I love that 10,000 feet one. That's the whole NLP and the shifting and the changing of, like, you take perspective, right? So you change it, and then you go, and can you see the color? Now we're going to turn it to black and white. Now we're going to make it slow motion. Now we're going to all that sort of, what all that's about. But yeah, it is how we see it, and changing that perspective. I was just going to go somewhere there as well. This is so cool.
I
But
love
yeah, it's
so tell me this. You mentioned embodying an emotion, and we kind of like touched on the frequency of the flutes. Where does
yeah.
that all come into play? Like, how important is that if you're trying to, you're catching yourself when you're about to go and define something, or go into one of the monkeys, and you're putting gratitude on it. You've got this self-awareness, you're breathing through it, you're being in it bliss, you're like doing the work here, and then all of a sudden, you're like, okay, I want to create abundance and a heart-aligned living in my life. Is there something that is, or like, what is this kind of extra emotion, or the frequencies of the sound, or like, what are these extra kind of things that can really embed this in you?
Oh, they're absolutely amazing. And yeah, you did trigger me then to say it's about acknowledgement, right? So once you have these emotions, people just sit in them, then they have the complaint, they talk about the whole big matolte and the gossip and stuff about their own emotions, as opposed to acknowledging it, and then exactly saying what you're doing. You come to breath, you come to gratitude, and then hopefully changing your vibration, yeah, and your frequency code. So 432 hertz is a pure frequency of love and nature, and 528 is a pure frequency of love. So these, like with sound healing, it goes, these kind of volumes and sounds and vibrations they can be absorbed by the skin as well, but generally it goes into the ear, and then it activates the vagus nerve, which then activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which releases serotonin and dopamine into the body and aligns all the chakras. That's why we've got this as an F, and then all my crystal bowls, 7 crystal bowls, all right from the base to the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. Because when you start playing those, it's like a mechanic putting in the diagnostic equipment into an engine, and then running it and seeing what's off. But the sound healing like this will go into the ears and penetrate through the skin, and then work out what's off, why which chakras aren't aligned or not. And a lot of people, they're just going, oh, that woo-woo, but it's just like, you don't know until you know, like once you witness it and
Science
you feel
behind
it.
it.
And that's why people, when they do that, and it's the same with meditation, but people will try it and then they'll go, oh yeah, I tried meditation. I'm just going to go, okay, cool. How long did you try for? I tried for about 30 minutes one time. I'm just going to go, okay, so as like PT for the mind, I was a martial artist for 12 years, and I've been working out quite a bit, and the years that I've been doing it. And it's just like, okay, so if you wanted a chest, do you think 100 sit-ups are going to, 100 push-ups are going to do it? Or 200 push-ups, or 1,000 push-ups? No way. Like they say 10,000 hours before you're an expert at anything. So it's like, this is not a lifestyle, not a fad or a fix or a band-aid. This is a lifestyle. So you have to make it a lifestyle. You have to wake with conscious breath. And if you do it for the 20 minutes waking, because you're still in the alpha, all right, you're from the alpha waking, right, which is the place where you can self-hypnosis yourself and give you all these selves the affirmations, I am worthy, I am love, I am capable, all with the breath, before you wake up, especially before you grab your mobile device and just go through all the the social media, because you're in the alpha state, which is like highly suggestible. And so if you're scrolling through there and all of a sudden you see an ex that's with somebody else or holidaying, and you got these people cruising, you got people laughing, or you see an accident on the road, of course it's going to take you into jealousy and then fear, and then what's happening overseas. Oh my God, there's been an earthquake on there. So fear, anger, while you're still in the alpha, before you've even 20 minutes of before you've even like coming into earth and grounded yourself, and then they wonder why they're funky all day, and then they'll grab a coffee and they'll accentuate that all that fear, anger, grief, critic, jealous, as opposed to what I'm suggesting is just like, when you wake up, you go, people go, I've got nothing to be grateful for. And I go, hey, take your pulse. That's denied to many. The least you can do is just going to go, oh my God, I'm alive. I've got the blessing of another day. Whether you're homeless or not, you've got the blessing of another day. You can just put your hand on a tree and just go and thank you. And then before going to bed as well, just be careful how you sleep, because if you're on your mobile device 20 minutes before going to bed or watching the news, and like that's going to take you into that as well. But when you were asking about frequency and vibration, got to be careful of what we listen to, because all the news is 440 hertz, all the jingles, all the radio stations, all the adverts that they put on are 440 hertz. Now, everything in the world was 432. Bach, Beethoven, Mozart was all 432. And the world was working harmoniously and quite joyously and amazing, right? Because that was the pure frequency of love and nature. And then the propaganda minister of Nazi Germany found out that 440 hertz, you can command the masses.
Wow.
And so those movies that you see that are playing in World War II with the grey speakers in the streets of Germany, they were playing 440 hertz to the Germans. So then Hitler was able to, with his NLP and hypnotic skills, was able to talk to countrymen like you and I, and like have them subliminally hypnotized in his languaging, and then 7 million Jews actually got murdered, from people like you and I, because of you got to be careful of the vibration and the sound, and then the Rockefellers took it on. I've got to watch out with who's doing it. Rockefellers took it on.
In the middle of nature.
Yeah.
Still in space behind Noosa somewhere.
Yeah. Rockefellers took it on and made 440 hertz the global. All right. So now all the news starts with 440, and all the jingles,
like
all
the
the
music, and the music, or the way that people speak. Like what's the 440?
So, just a quick message. I hope you're enjoying this podcast bonus session. Now, if you have heard this interview, then you're probably sitting there going, what is this all about? Well, this is all about my Exit the Matrix experiment. Now, I decided to write a book because I'm really interested in how do we go from the existence that we have now to exiting the matrix and living with intention from our hearts, following our heart's desires, but also creating abundance in all areas of our lives. And hence, whilst I've been researching this book, I thought, this is a really solitary journey. I want people to come on this journey with me. And hence, I've got this very special group. Now, come and join me. The first month for founders is free. And if you decide to stay, fantastic. So what I'm doing is I'm interviewing incredible people. I'm getting insights about what's this awakening that people are getting? What's the exit the matrix kind of sliding door moment for them? Now, I've obviously run this podcast for over a year now, and I have more than 30 stories, but I'm also interested in those people who are in this transformational space, who are actually not just awakening themselves, and they're awakening others. What is the mechanism? As Bashar talks about it, it's the permission slip. Are they going through astrology or meditation or yoga or breath work? Are they just going within and getting a sense of what's really going on? So that's what all the Exit the Matrix experience is about. I'm going to let you get back to the interview, but if you want to join me, go to exitthematrix.today/ETM with me, which stands for Exit the Matrix with me. So that's exitthematrix.today/ETM with me. Sign up. I'd love for you to come along. I'm creating courses. There's currently courses in there around 4D gratitude. There's more courses to come. I'm creating custom GPTs on how you can exit the matrix and helping you uncover what lies beneath your subconscious and holding you back, and also other custom GPTs that I'm sure you're going to love. And most of the speakers are actually really motivating me. So I'm creating courses, I'm creating ebooks, I'm creating experiments you can try, I'm creating tools that you can use, and I'm also writing a book. So at some stage, I'll get to writing the book. At this moment, it's just all about the research. And I hope you choose to join me because I'm really excited about this experiment. So I'll get back to the interview now. Enjoy yourself. And as always, here's to your success.
The 440 hertz is the music that plays it, so it's got that, it's the vibration behind that, right? It's the frequency. So it's all frequency. Everything's got frequency, even the trees and the birds and the ocean, and everything's got frequency. But, so yeah, 440 hertz is kind of, it's like, oh.
I guess the thing also is that your brain is always listening, and what you speak, and they say you write, you invite, but if you're speaking something, it becomes law or becomes what it is. So I guess not just the internal thoughts, but the external things that you speak. Because I was listening to someone recently who said, don't just think about this or write it down, say it, because the vibration of your words actually cements it. And so we have to be careful and I guess vigilant on what we read and what we listen to and the conversations we're having. And if we're hanging out with negative people, I guess it does make it difficult when we have to say, I don't really want to participate in bitching about that person anymore.
But you have to say that, yeah.
Because it does affect. Okay, so
misery loves company. And on that note, what you're saying there as well, another book which I know that you love, and I can guarantee it, which should be given to all primary school kids, and every month they should review it. The 4 Agreements.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and the first one is be impeccable with your word. Like exactly what you're saying. Be impeccable with your word. Don't make assumptions. Don't take anything personally. And the last one, of course, which is amazing, just do your best.
Yeah.
Like that's. Yeah.
There are such simple messages, aren't there? And I think that, the thing that I really appreciate about you is that you're almost like a transmission for, positivity and people and connection. And the way you drop, like I listened to you this morning, you were talking about the smack on the bottom when you're a baby.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah, just going to go, because you were born a warrior. That's what I get people to do in the mornings. You got to give yourself the first smile because it's your best curve. But you got to look into the eyes of the warrior and forget this facade, right? Because we're all warriors. And the first and the first smack on your ass was a knighthood for your bravery. Yeah, because you made it. You know how much that's denied to many. And all your ancestors but they were warriors as well, because if they didn't make it, you wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So all the way from the caveman, all the way through. So when they pick you up and they go, bang, wah, that's your knighthood, man. You're welcome, Now open your wings and fly. This is yours,
Every time I speak to you, Michael, it's like I open a book and I've like access to this library of all of this information. Because one time you're dropping angel cards, and then you're dropping frequencies, and you're doing sound healing, and you're talking Wayne Dwyer, and then the NLP. Like I feel like if I ever need to know anything, I just have to come to you. It's extraordinary. You're just such an incredible, and you're a literal kind of walking, advertisement for the way we should live, or the remembering how we should live.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I love it. And that, these are all messages to myself, but I put them all over my arm and stuff because now I'm the illustrated man, and I do it with cards. Of course, you've seen my whole card thing, but that's. It's like connect your head with a heart with a desire. And a desire is a destination engaging synchronicity, imagination, retrospect, and emotion. And I break all
Okay,
that down. You got
say that slowly. Desire
a
is
desire
head
is
to the heart to the head. Yeah.
yeah, connect the head with the heart with a desire. So desire is a destination, engaging synchronicity, imagination, retrospect, and emotion. Yeah. So you got to have a destination first. All right. Otherwise, you've got no target. What are you aiming for? Where are you going? Destination, engaging, and then you've got to engage it, right? Because if you've got a catapult and you've got this big rock on here, and you know you want to take out something there, you want to hit your target, so you bend it right down, and then you're holding it down right before you cut the string, and that's just sitting there, just going to go, yeah, there we go. I've got my target, and I've got that, and I'm just going to go, great. Now what are you going to do with it? Because if it's not flying, it's procrastination.
Yeah.
All right. So you got to engage, you got to cut that string. All right. And the best way to engage that, I find, is to, like, with that desire, throw some fuel on it and then light it. So now what is it? It's a burning desire. So it has to be released, because if it doesn't get released, it's gonna implode, and it's gonna break your catapult, and it's gonna ruin all your desire whatsoever. And then it's just like, and then synchronicity, serendipity, synchronicity. It's just like surrender. It's got so many S's. You just got to surrender, and because you're not chasing your arrow, your bullet, or that catapult, you're not chasing it and going, okay, I'm going to see where it's going. No, you got to surrender to it. The same as when you put in an address on the GPS. Surrender to it, because the higher power is going to look after you. With the GPS, it's the navigating system. With ourselves, it's the universe and the power of the universe. And then it's just imagination, the most incredible weapon you have. Enables you to paint pictures in your mind of things not yet seen or witnessed. That's where dreams come from, yeah? And then it's through a retrospect is one of the biggest ones. Because if I had an arrow, and I'm shooting it from a bow, all right, I've got the target and I'm shooting it from the bow, but if I tie my baggage to that arrow, how far is it going?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, so retrospect is release the baggage, all right? There is only now, and what we have now, and the rest of your future or your adventure or your life is destined by how you write it. You're the writer, producer, and director, all right? And with a lot of people, they're on their old stories. Oh yeah, but I was this when I was a teenager. I was either molested or this, or I had an accident or something happened. I was going, yeah, but that was forever ago. So I get people to burn. I said, why don't we burn the old books in your library so we can start again? You can be the writer, producer, and director of anything, And then I catch them coming out with their stories. I'm going, why are you reading that burning book?
Yeah.
Don't do that. So we got retrospect, and then that last one is E was emotion, So you got to tap into your emotion, how you feel about that whole desire. And you do that with faith, which is a formidable attitude igniting the heart. Formidable attitude igniting the heart. And the most formidable attitude is an attitude of gratitude. It doesn't matter how broken you were, the direction you're going in, or the time frame, you can break free and fly again. Just got to be a lion. A lion does not lose sleep over the opinions of sheep. A lion does not lose sleep over the opinions of sheep. And a lion is an acronym for me as well, which is a loving individual obliterating negativity. Boom. Yeah.
Geez, Michael, talk about the illustrated man, illustrated, educated, and spiritual. I'm in awe of you, and I'm just so grateful because it's given me, I was getting stuck in this kind of messy middle of what holds people back. And
Yeah.
geez, bloody simple, isn't it? It's not easy, but it's easy, but it's not simple, but there's some basic things that you can do. And we all have
breath,
the ability
love.
to do it without money or without resources or assets. We can all just turn those on in our lives right now.
Yeah. But just just love, man. That's love. Just be the love that you're looking for, Yeah.
Okay, well, that's just an absolute truth, Mum. I've got to say, there's one thing that I don't fully recall, and I would love to just like finish this whole conversation now and go and like lay down and think about it because it just filled my heart with so much joy. But I remember you telling this story about you and your grandma or coming home from school and
Oh yeah. Okay, I do that with a big illusion with a needle through a balloon. But yeah, like it's coming home, and yeah, this is so cool. So it's Yeah. Okay. Would you like to hear that story?
Would you mind? Because it's something that every time I think of you, I think with such um, happiness with this story that you had. And I know it's part of, you usually have some props and things, but I
Yeah.
can't recall the story. But it's something that every time I think of you, I'm like, like I love the grandma.
Yeah.
I love the
I'll
story.
share another story after this one as well, which you like, if you can pass this on to the world as well, like
Please,
it's
please.
so powerful. But yeah, so I was being picked on and bullied because I wasn't like everybody else at school, right? I was different. I was dyslexic. And being dyslexic in the 70s just made homework a contact sport for my father. A lot of people. Yeah, so it's kind of strange. And I was being picked on and bullied, right? And then my nana, I come home one time and then my nana's, I'm crying and upset. She goes, "What's the matter, darling? Sweetheart, what's the matter?" I said, "They're picking on me at school, Nana. They're picking on me. They're calling me dumb at school." She says, "You're letting them inside your mind, sweetheart. You're letting all these other people inside your mind. Don't let anybody inside your mind, darling. No, not unless they're going to pay rent. Because if they're not paying rent, they could squat and stay in there forever. Don't let anybody inside your mind." All right. And then I just do a big balloon illusion with that. But then I come back and I said, "Nana, you're not helping me. You're not helping me. They're still going to call me dumb." And then my Nana looks at me. She goes, "Sweetheart, you're taking on their words and their meanings. You're taking their words and their meanings." She says, "Sweetheart, you are dumb." I said, What are you calling me dumb for?" She says, "Take their words, take their power. Once you take their word, you take their power. Because when I look at you, sweetheart, you are dumb. You're determined, unstoppable, motivated, and you believe in yourself." And so once you own that, so you own that. So now kids was going, "Michael, you're dumb." I said, "Yeah, I know." They're going, "No, you're dumb." I said, "I'm extra dumb. I'm determined, unstoppable, motivated, and I believe in myself." So what other word than they got for that, But here's something I'd like to share with you, Jane. Like if you can pass this around, because I was going to colleges, right? When I was a dream guard with my ex-wife, we used to go to colleges as dream guards to make sure kids' dreams weren't stolen. And we're helping people stand up to bullying in a positive and powerful way.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, right, a lot of teenagers were killing themselves, and it was just like, oh, my God, because that was the catch cry. Why don't you just kill yourself? Why don't you just kill yourself? Why don't you just kill yourself? And then it became so narrowed focus with their phones and their computers that it became subliminal and hypnotic. And we went to a few funerals of these beautiful, beautiful children that killed themselves, because of like the languaging and the hypnotic suggestioning on a small device that's what it was, So I wound up going to a college, right? And I'm standing up there and there were 750 kids in this gymnasium. I was going, "How you going? My name's Michael Bennett. I'm going to kill myself today." And they're all looking at me going, "What?" I'm just going to go, "Yeah, I'm going to kill myself today." Yeah. KILL is an acronym for me. I love acronyms. KILL is a kind, individual, loving life. I said, right, in fact, now I'm killing myself right now. I'm a kind individual, loving life, ignoring negative gestures. So now just imagine if kids owned that. So instead of like other kids and bullies and like horrible people just going, "Why don't you just kill yourself?" And you could just turn around and go, "Oh my God, thank you. Yes, I am." So you've no longer got the cortisol. You've no longer got the adrenaline going through you. "Oh my God, they want me dead. You've changed the name of that word for you. "Oh, thank you. Yes, I am going to kill myself. I'm a kind individual, loving life. Thank you for the reminder." Now, what are the bullies going to do? What's worse than saying, "Why don't you kill yourself?" There's nothing. They can't do anything.
No.
And if they taught this at schools, you've taken their power. So now, what's another way that they can say they're like bullies or kids at school? Like that's the worst thing that I think you can say. And kids are doing it because other kids are telling them to. But if they own that, "Oh yeah, I'm a kind individual, loving life." Bang, got it. I'm a kind individual, loving life, ignoring negative gestures. So now it's just like a duck's back. It's just like, boom, it's gone.
Yeah, that's so powerful. I mean, gosh, thank goodness for Nanny telling you about
Yeah.
change definitions, because as children, we're like in that hypnotic state, really, like
Oh
we're
yeah.
susceptible to everything. But you're right. If you're getting messages and people are sending horrible text to you, this becomes hypnotic as well.
Oh,
And
totally.
we're
Yeah.
getting those messages all the time, be it maybe not kids, bullying kids over WhatsApp, but we're watching these, negative things. We're in control of what we're looking at, and those messages are coming to us. So the fact that we can change the word kill and change the word dumb, like that could, you're right, that could completely change the frequency of humanity, let's hope.
Yeah, my oath. But any word that you've got that triggers you or calls you something, or even even if it's an ex-spouse or something that's triggered you, like
They're
just
calling me
sit with it.
stupid. They're calling me fat. They're calling
Yeah,
me dumb.
yeah.
Okay, come up with an acronym.
And just make an acronym. So you own the words that are like, so that's it. It's just like we become Superman. Like the bullets just go ping and they drop off because I own the word fat. I'm fantastic and terrific. Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like bang, thank you. And it's a good reminder when they say it. It's just like, because you've locked it in through repetition. You've got to pee heaps, practice, patience, and perseverance with all this learning of creating acronyms, doing your exercise, doing your breath, doing your love, doing your heart, mind-heart coherence and stuff.
I love it, Michael. Thank you. There's so many gems here. I'm going to be spending hours pulling them out going, acronym. I'm so just look at his arm. But I really appreciate it. And we might have to in the future hook up a way that we can get you to play. But anyone who's watching this, head over to Michael Bennett on Facebook. If you can't find him, check him out.
Yeah, Michael Bennett comedian. So Michael Bennett comedian, you'll find me straight away because there's a lot of Michael Bennetts. But Michael Bennett comedian is my Facebook. Yeah. Or go to
you've got a walk coming up too.
Got a which?
You've got a walk coming up that you do. Like I'm sure there will be some beautiful visuals from that.
Incredible. It's incredible. Yeah.
And the book?
And the book, PT for the Mind. It's my book has become a Mind Ninja. Yeah, but if you go to my website, ptforthemind.com is one that I've got a lot of stuff on there and a lot of content in there that I've been a bit slack on lately, but there's lots of blogs and stuff in there that you may like as well, but you can get my book from there and my oracle cards and stuff.
Michael, as usual, I so appreciate you, and I'm so gifted to have another earth angel in the world like yourself, and I'm so happy. Like, you don't know how joyous I feel when I see Michael's live, and I know that you're going to be dropping some nuggets, but you're also going to be playing, love frequencies that just resonate through me. It's just beautiful. So thank you so much for what you're bringing to the world, and I really appreciate your time.
Well, gratitude for you, and for the good luck with the book and your research. It's beautiful. It's going to be amazing. I know it is. So,
I can't wait. Got to start writing at some stage, but I'm having so much fun learning things. So
yeah, cool.
We'll see where it goes. Well, thank you so much. And for everyone listening, as always, here's to your success. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to Exit the Matrix, Stories of Success. Make sure you subscribe to future episodes at www.exitthematrix.io. Until next time, here's to your success.